What's up guys, Steven here and welcome back to a new comparison video, and I've got myself the brand new iPhone SE right over here in rose gold, and I thought let's do a quick comparison between the newer and the older models and let's see if the iPhone SE has really been improved. Alright guys, first of all let's talk about the specs. Now I bought the new rose gold edition for around €500 and it runs the same processor just like the 6S, so we have the Apple A9 inside. The battery size is 1642 milliamp hours or something like that, and it's a really small battery, but you have to keep in mind that the display size is also very small. So just like the iPhone 5 or 5S, the display size is 4 inches. Now the display resolution, it's 1136 x 640 pixels, which is actually the same resolution like in the 5S, but the display seems to be a little bit brighter. So this looks a little bit better in my opinion. Now the rear camera has been improved. We now have 12 megapixels on the rear camera and we have 4K recording, we have slow motion, we have 240 FPS, and that's super awesome. But still the front facing camera is pretty shitty. It's just 1.2 megapixels on the front side. It's the same like in the iPhone 5S if I'm right. And 1.2 megapixels in the time of social media selfies is not enough in my opinion, and probably it will look crispy, but stay tuned for my full review where we're going to test out the camera as well. Alright, so I've got the 16GB model. It has 2GB of RAM, just like the newer models. So this is 1GB more than the iPhone 5S. And also it runs a newer processor, so you really have to decide for yourself if it's worth the upgrade just because of the performance. For sure we're going to do a benchmark, which you will just see in a second. But before we have a closer look at the performance and Wi-Fi and GPS, I would say let's quickly compare all those devices here from the outside. So as you can see, iPhone have become bigger over the time, starting with 3.5 inches on the iPhone 4, going up to 5.5 inches on the iPhone 6s Plus right over here. But just the iPhone SE, it's just like a step backwards. Now, it looks from the outside almost the same like the iPhone 5, so there's a very small difference, and this is for me just the home button. So the home button looks different, not the usual iPhone symbol on the home button there anymore, and it has Touch IDs and fingerprint scanner, which works really good. So this is like on my iPhone 6s Plus and feels absolutely awesome. Also the performance increased a lot. So the iPhone 4 was really slow and terrible. If I'm going to use it right now, it's really laggy. Then we had the iPhone 5S, which is still very smooth, so you really have to decide if it's worth the upgrade. It has the Apple A7 inside. Then coming to the iPhone 6, which had the Apple A8, and now we have the Apple A9 here in my 6s Plus. And this is actually the same processor which you also have in the iPhone SE. So actually you have a very small smartphone with the same performance like the iPhone 6s Plus in theory. But for sure I would say let's get directly started and let's have a look at some benchmarks to see if the performance is really the same. Alright guys, the benchmarks are finished and the performance increase from the iPhone 5S is really huge. The iPhone 5S scores only around 31K in the Antutu benchmark. All phones are running the same version of Antutu 6.1, and yeah, 31K on the iPhone 5S is really not a lot. Now the iPhone SE with the Apple A9 scores around 125K, so this is really better. But here we have also got an iPhone 6S and an iPhone 6s Plus. They're also running the A9 processor from Apple, but they score a little bit more. So for instance, the iPhone 6S scores around 134K and the iPhone 6s Plus a little bit more, 137K. Now, actually they should perform the same, probably, just there was something running in the background. Anyway, the A9 is way better than the A7, which was in the iPhone 5S, so the performance increase is really a lot. Another important thing is the connectivity. So we've tested GPS a little bit, and I have to say the GPS performance between the 5S, 6S, iPhone 6s Plus here is absolutely the same. Also the iPhone SE has the same GPS performance. You can see here GPS detail is basically an application which measures your GPS accuracy, and they have in the C-axis here the maximum accuracy, in the XY axis not the maximum here, but I have to say GPS on every iPhone I had so far is very good and super awesome. But the next thing, Wi-Fi connectivity. I have huge problems on my 6s Plus, so let's check it out. Now the Wi-Fi signal is pretty much the same on all the iPhones here, so I just have to say on my 6s Plus the Wi-Fi signal is not as good. So, for instance, the iPhone SE, it still finds the network here inside of the building if I'm outside of the building. The 6s Plus, it just loses the connection as soon as I go out of the building, so as soon as I leave the door. And I'm not really sure what's going on with the smartphone or if it's in general like this, but I tried to restore the smartphone. I tried to completely reinstall iOS, but I simply have this issue. But all in all, I have to say iPhones have pretty good Wi-Fi signal, so I tried it here between the 5S, the SE, the 6S and the 6S Plus. And yeah, just the 6S Plus has some kind of Wi-Fi issues, that it loses Wi-Fi and then just regains it after some time, but this is a really annoying issue. But all in all, they have pretty good Wi-Fi and as good as my Android flagships. So guys, we're now here at the end of this quick comparison. All in all, it really comes down to personal preference if you should upgrade from the iPhone 5S to the iPhone SE. All in all, I have to say the performance is way better. So it's as fast as my 6S Plus and it's just smaller. Now also Touch ID is super fast and the camera, the rear camera is definitely better. So if you check out comparisons between the cameras, now it looks way better than on the iPhone 5S. But the front-facing camera, it's still terrible and looks almost the same on both devices, so this is not a huge improvement. The screen, as you've seen probably, it's a little bit brighter, so that is definitely something if you really prefer good-looking panels which are bright and very colorful. This panel seems to be different, even though it has the same resolution like the 5S. Now yeah, the price, now the materials, all in all, doesn't feel so super premium. Yeah, it's an iPhone, so it's super expensive. Around 500 euro, and for 500 euro you can get really good Android flagships. There are some like the Huawei P9 or any other upcoming smartphones, and they're really good and not so small and have low specs like a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. But well, if you like iOS, then why not? It's an upgrade to the 5S, but not something I'm super excited about, and I really regret buying it actually. Same for my 6S Plus, super expensive, Wi-Fi problems. Also, you give up the freedom of Android, and I'm not so super happy with the iPhone, but yeah, it comes down to personal preference. So leave a comment down below in the comment box if you like the iPhone SE, what you like about Apple, if you like Android. Let's get a discussion started, what's better, and yeah, please make sure you leave a like if this video was helpful, maybe subscribe if it was helpful too, and also check out the description for more iPhone SE videos, and thanks for watching, see you in the next one, and bye bye.